Welcome to this video on how the European Union responds to Trump's tariffs. The negotiations over tariffs between the United States and the European Union are stalled. The US insists on so-called reciprocal general tariffs of 10%, which the European Union does not accept. A trade agreement proposed by the European Union that includes manufactured goods failed because it excludes the agricultural sector, which is important to the USA. If the trade disputes escalates, the European Union would first use the counter tariffs it had prepared in response to the US tariffs on steel and aluminum. A much larger trade volume would be affected if the European Union reacts to the general US tariffs of 10% with counter tariffs. The last stage of escalation would be activating the so-called anti-coercion instruments. This could mean painful taxes on large US tech companies that sell many of their services in the European Union. Overall, the EU Commission has control over foreign trade policy. However, if the tariffs are extensive and potentially have serious consequences for the member states, they can block them with a so-called qualified majority. However, an alliance of Hungary and Poland alone would not be enough to stop the European Union's countermeasures. In the end, we think a deal between the United States and the European Union is more likely than an escalation. Ultimately, Donald Trump sees himself as a deal maker, and the United States would have a lot to lose in a trade war with the European Union.